Yo YouTubers, this is going to be an exclusive YouTube upload about my art. I thought I'd explain a few things about my art without seeming like a pretentious wannabe Salvador Dali. Just kind of like a couple of me pictures, just a little explanation and that, like, I don't know, I just thought it'd be interesting, right? And there's a live experiment in this video, folks. Hold on, I'll just put the camera down while I open a bottle of beer. I am not an alcoholic. I am not an alcoholic yet. Right? It's Saturday night. It's Saturday night. And I haven't had a drink for like, I don't know, over a week or something, because I'm on a diet, believe it or not. Man, I'm on a diet, so I'm cutting down on things, trying to. I don't know why, I'm 50 something, it doesn't matter, does it? But anyway, I thought I owe myself a treat. It's Saturday night and the old Sharps Atlantic. Oh, just record me reaction. I see you. Right. My hands shake because I'm using my left hand. I hate doing anything with my left hand. Oh, I love that beer, man. Oh, man. It's crazy. Ooh, I don't know, it's been a while. And I made sure in case I don't get drunk enough. Well, not drunk, merry enough, right? So I've gone a bit bonkers here, mate. Bruce drinks. Here for like backup in case when I'm finished then. I feel a bit like, you know that feeling when it's like it's past 10:30 or past 10 o'clock and you're just not there. With that HD, this is my flat in HD. This is an open plan kitchen. It's nice and clean, isn't it? I'm kind of tidy. One of the greatest things I've ever bought, guys. I can't believe this thing. Get me wok out the way. And then move the paper. This induction hob. Oh my word. It's like Stanley Kubrick, you know what I mean? This is like 2001, this thing now. It's like Stanley Kubrick, it's amazing. It's like it's the one I got it for 20 quid reduced in Aldi a few weeks back. Oh man, it cooks amazing. It's like a real wok cooker, you know, like the heat is incredible. But anyway, little tip from the top, induction hobs, but your pans have got to be magnetic, you know. But anyway, here's a live experiment. This is an experiment. This is all about my art, this video, folks. And I'm going to try and explain a couple of concepts. And I want your opinions, right? A couple of things, basically. I want to know if you're prepared to buy stuff off me, if say I auction things or something like that, right? And if you understand me, if I'm a genius, if I'm a kind of artistic, like, pioneer, I'd like to be recognised as a pioneer. I don't think I'll be noticed until posthumously. I don't want to be depressing or nothing, right, folks, but I think I'm going to be a bit like Van Gogh. I don't think anyone's going to recognise my brilliance until I'm passed on, you know what I mean? I'm on the other side, right? But this is a live experiment, right? I've got a picture here which I painted. Well, I'll just check it was the first I'm used to drawing on paper, right? I'm used to drawing, like, using Biro art was my pioneering kind of step in the world. I've got some other examples I'd like to share with you at a little later date. They're quite controversial, because they're like good against evil kind of thing, right? But this, my very, very first, it's not the first canvas I ever did, right? It's like a big deal to me, folks. I mean, I'm 54 now, right? I was born in 1964, right? And this painting is 1995, the date on it. It says 31st of July 95, right? So it's quite old now. I mean, 95, how long ago was that, man? I mean, I can't count it, like, it's a few years ago, isn't it? 95, 2005 is 10 years. 2015 is 20 years. 2019, 24 years roughly. 24 years already, this painting, right? And what's important about it, right, folks, is I'd already done one canvas picture. I mean, all my life, since I was in school, I went through school, everything, and I didn't do a single canvas, anything on canvas, right? Which is very important, as you all know, in the art world, right? It's kind of like a massive statement. I don't know. It's like paradise to me, being able to paint and draw or whatever. But canvas was a bold step for me. It was a huge step, right? Like a giant leap for mankind, really. Right. But this picture, right? I actually did it as I'd already done one canvas, right? And I've still got it. It's packed away somewhere, and I'll show you it another time, right, folks? If people are interested in what I've got to say in this video, I thought I'd explain myself. Forget me music. My music is part of a palette, right? What I try and explain to people is I've never had a record deal. I've never tried to get a record deal. I've never sent demos to record companies. Other people have done it. You know, say in the past they had people who wanted to manage me and that kind of thing, and they were like determined to try and get a deal. You know what people are like. If they can make money, they'll have a go. I understand that, right? But I never really, me myself, I didn't want to be under that like demand. I've mixed everything in all my art, in music, pictures, poetry, and I don't sell nothing, and I'm still kind of, it's all kind of hidden, I suppose, right? Now, someone gave me a canvas painting. It was like someone did it in a learning difficulty place, right? And one of my friends gave it to me. It was quite simple, quite basic, this canvas thing. And what I did was hijack the canvas and I painted the picture over it, right? So it wasn't officially a canvas that was, you know, pure. It wasn't a virgin canvas, so to speak, right? So what I did was, to launch my canvas career, like, I decided to... I hope this is not boring you, folks. I know, like, you know, it's not much to look at, like, you know. But anyway, I'd decided to buy a tiny canvas, right? A little tiny thing to say, right, I'm going to do something kind of groundbreaking, kind of mind-blowing, but small and quick and easy to do. So it's like, I'm launching me, you know, a virgin canvas, right? And remember, on a canvas, it's like you've got pieces of wood, which is a piece of trees. You've got nails to hold the canvas on the wood, so there's some metal in there. Then there's the canvas itself, and then there's whatever you paint. So there's a lot of elements. It's quite magical to me, right, folks? I know I might like cream in my pants talking about it, and you might all think it's quite boring, but to me it's quite like groundbreaking, right? I know it sounds silly, like, right? But anyway, I bought this tiny canvas, right? And here's the back of it. That's how small it is, right? And the date on it, I'm sure you can see it. Let's have a look. I'll get my camera. It's kind of like I want to do an experiment here, folks. This is a live experiment. Because I've got my HD camera, it's a bit better to try, like, right? What there is, it says OWL Stage 1, right? OWL Stage 1. And there's the date, 31st of the 7th. 95, and you see, compared to the size of my hand, it's very tiny, right? But it's a canvas nonetheless, and there we go. Now, here's the, you know, drum roll, you know, like, there There's the picture. I know it doesn't seem much, right? But let me explain. I don't want to aim the camera at it for too long, because I want to try this experiment. But you can see the size of it, like, that's it there, right? First ever clean virgin canvas, right, folks? Now, I'll just put it on a little shelf so I can film it for you to try this live, well, not live, this experiment in high definition, right? Now, that particular picture, right, it's called Owl Stage 1, right? And what it is I'm going to go into my South Bank show mode here. And there's a lot of influences, right? So there's a lot of, like, you know, the Passion of Van Gogh, and I've got, you know, certain artists. I'll go through that in a minute, like what, you know, why I like them and all that kind of thing, right? Now, as the beer kicks in, I'll start being a bit more like, what's the word? Talkative, without any restriction, right? As the beer kicks in. But anyway, it's Saturday night and I haven't had a drink for a few days. But this picture, right, it's called Owl Stage 1, right? And at first glance, I look at it really quickly, right? You just go, well, I don't know. Maybe Damien Hirst will understand. I hope that, maybe I'm connected. I'm hoping Damien Hirst actually understands this picture, maybe, and relates to it himself, right? There it is there. There's another picture there I'm going to explain, right? But there it is, right? Owl Stage 1. There's my signature there, right? Now, what is significant about this picture? What is really significant, right, is I wanted to keep it... I had this theory that if I get into doing really complex paintings, right, folks, it means I've got to spend a lot of money on paints, because that's how you mix the colours. You need a whole kind... You need... Basically, you check any artist studio, right? Man, there's a mess, isn't it? There's tubes of paint everywhere, and palettes and bits of cardboard with examples of mixed colours and everything. So straight away I thought to myself, I can't afford... I'm a bit Asperger's, right, as well. So anything that stresses me out artistically, I'm more into sketches and biro. I like using biros, right? And I thought, if I start this art project, this entire thing, this chain reaction thing I'm intending to do, I want to use the most minimal amount of colours possible, because you're spending less money on the paints, right? And it's less time consuming. And I like to, when I paint pictures, I like to film the stages of each picture, so that, like, at the end of it I've got an animation. And that's another reason why I don't paint so much and draw so much, is because I could do with an assistant or a muse or whatever that would, like, film me when I'm doing everything, you see. So, and I can't, like, go around asking people to do that, can I? You know what I mean? So I'll be drawing a picture, I'll stop, take a photograph or a bit of video, carry on with the picture, stop, take a picture, you know. And I end up with, like, an animation of the entire picture being painted from beginning to end, you see, right? And that's why it takes me so long to do these things. And there's another painting over there on the wall, which I'm going to explain in a minute, right? As long as this, I hope the battery lasts on this, like, but anyway, I started off with this picture and I thought, okay, people are going to take really take the piss out of me, because it's so easy, it's so simple, so minimalist, right? But if I say I'm just using one colour, you know, I'm not going to alter the background. I wanted the canvas to be plain white. It's even dirty, because, you know, the way they get dirty gradually if you leave them out. But anyway, I thought, right, I'm going to do this. And what I intend to do is a series of paintings of an owl, basically, right? Developing in an egg. And the whole thing is about the miracle of life, how God, the creation of God, how an owl, or an eagle, or a pigeon... The reason I chose an owl, guys, is because the finished photo there, the finished painting will be, I think it'll be more interesting than all the birds of prey or all the pigeons or whatever. I wanted the finished picture, which is going to be an owl, right? In a very complicated kind of, I don't know, it's got to be cryptic, it's got to be surreal or whatever, right? But for owl stage 1, right, and the first stage of an owl, or any bird, is that yellow ball in the egg, right? The yellow ball of yolk, right? There's nothing subliminally messages about the colour yellow or nothing like that. If the egg yolk was green, it'd be a green picture. If it was blue, it'd be a blue picture. But no, this is what egg yolk looks like, folks. It's yellow, right? But the thing what I was trying to convey is, even though it's a tiny canvas, right? You're inside the egg. You're actually inside the egg. You're not, and you're inside it, right? Behind you is like the shell, and you're submerged in that liquid. I can't remember what it's called. Or is it vellum or so? I don't know. The white stuff in an egg, right? So you're suspended in space, basically. You're like the Star Child in Stanley Kubrick's 2001. You're suspended in a kind of vacuum, right? As say you're in a gallery looking at this picture, right? It's getting really boring, this, I know, but I'm trying to explain it to you before I should do the experiment to see if this has the effect on it what I get. When I look at this picture with my naked eye, I remember I painted it in '95, and honestly I meant some like real heart and soul in it because it's the launch pad, right? Now you're inside the egg and you're looking at the yolk suspended, and it's about to start to develop into an owl, right? The miracle of life. From that yellow liquid comes feathers, a beak, a pair of eyeballs, talons, wings, muscles, and then the life of the owl itself all follows, right? So, which brings me to, well, I'm going to film the painting, right? Now, when I look at this picture with my naked eye, right, when I'm looking at that picture, I get this weird ultraviolet glow that appears around the edge. It appears around the edges of the yolk first, like the colour of methylated spirits, that kind of like transparent purple, very pale purple, right? And the signature where I've signed the signature in the corner with the same paint, right? It's acrylic, right? It's only acrylic, right? What's kind of important about this picture is, you know the way they say it's impossible to draw a perfect circle, right, folks? It's a scientific fact, isn't it, that people say it's nigh on impossible without a compass, or whether you say you want to draw around a stencil or a coin or something, right? Because I once drew the moon once, and I had to draw around a coin, a 10-pence piece, to get the moon perfectly circular, right? That's just an example, right? With this picture, I wanted to do it with my fingertip. It's a finger painting, for starters, right? Now, think about that, folks. It's a fingertip painting. I did it with my fingertip. There it is. I've still got the fingertip. You know, like your brushes disappear into the past, or they wear out, or you have to change them, or it gets dry with paint on it, and you have to replace it, right? What's important? Remember, 1995, what did they say? The 31st of July, 1995. I decided to start this process of the owl stage 1. Stage 1 being it's the yolk, right? Obviously, a mother owl and a father owl have fertilised one another, and the female owl has laid an egg. And we're inside that egg watching the miracle of the owl begin to take like its life and begin like the being of an owl. It could be an eagle owl. I haven't decided on what breed or what type of owl. Eagle owl, tawny owl, barn owl. What's them other ones I love? What are they called? The white snowy owl. I love snowy owls, right? Nothing to do with Harry Potter, by the way. Okay, so you with me so far, right? It's a finger painting, right? And I didn't draw a circle with a pencil or anything else, right? And I thought, I've got to get it dead centre on the canvas, right? And I want it to be as perfectly central, and I want it to be a perfect circle. And if I mess up with the paint, I'm going to start again. Do you understand, folks? I'm going to say, right, scrap that canvas, get a new one, I've got to start again. I pulled it off. I'm not saying it's a perfect circle, right, folks, but it's bloody close, right? So that should be a mind-blowing... I don't know. Some people might laugh at this, like, you know, right? But anyway, I'm staring at it now, right? It's on the shelf right in front of me, and it's doing the ultraviolet glow that I'm talking about, which is like magical, right? So, with that in mind, right, folks, this is part one. I'm going to have to do this in parts, alright, and go through the other pictures, maybe, because the battery's starting to go already, like. But anyway, I'm going to turn the camera around now, right, folks? And I'm going to leave it aimed at the picture for you to stare at it, right? Now, I've just tested it looking through the monitor of my camera, and the ultraviolet glow appeared around the edges of the yolk, right, which is an owl, right? I believe I've magically... No, I won't say anything else, right? I'm going to aim it at the camera, at the picture, right? It's a finger painting, right? It's a perfect circle, almost. I'm not saying it's actually a perfect circle. It's central, right? I just went like that, painted it with my fingertip like that, and then I went, right, it's done, I finished it, right? And then I signed it with my fingertip with the same bit of paint that was on my fingertip when I was painting it, right? Okay? So, now, let's all do this experiment together. I'm going to watch this on YouTube myself, right, folks? I'm going to put this on YouTube myself, and I'm going to sit and watch it on the screen, and I'm going to be blown away if the ultraviolet thing appears around it, even though I'm not looking at it with my naked eye, right? But I want other... It might be just an exclusive thing because I'm the artist, because I painted it. It might be something to do with my pineal gland. It might be something to do with my eyeballs. I don't know, right? So I'm going to film the painting now, right? And I want you to stare at the painting, right, on your screens. That's why I've done it in high definition. It's the nearest I can get to, like, you know, right? Now, if you see a purple glow, I'm going to tell you if I can see it through the monitor while I'm filming. But I wonder if you guys see it yourselves, right? I like this magical ultraviolet glow that appears. So anyway, so there we go. There it is, owl stage 1, right? Now I'm going to zoom it in. I'm trying to get like the best angle. Don't laugh, it's like, right, I want it to be so you see the full size picture, right? Now I'm going to leave it now, right? Now I'm seeing it now on the screen, guys. I'm seeing it. I'm seeing an ultraviolet glow around, and my signature as well. Like this weird ultraviolet glow. And the longer I stare at it, the more intense it gets. Right, I'm going to zoom into it now so you can see the detail of the... They're not brush strokes. Now the ultraviolet glow is still there. In my eye, I don't know, I'm imagining I'm a bit mad or something like. Right, yeah, it's definitely there. Like the atmosphere around the earth, you know what I mean? I'm hoping I'm capturing this on film. Like capturing something supernatural. Please tell me that you can see it, folks, or... And I don't want you to be hypnotised into thinking you can see it. Can you see a purple glow around this? It's just acrylic on canvas, guys. I'll zoom in so you can see the detail. Or lack of it. Oh, see, that's like... For all those... You see, I'm seeing the ultraviolet glow there now. On the screen. The ultraviolet glow there, you know. Right. Remember, it's just canvas and acrylic paint, but I've converted it into life. It's an owl's yolk, right? It's the yolk that will one day be an owl. Here's my signature, ultraviolet glow around that as well. Can you see the ultraviolet glow around it, folks? Right, now to see if it disappears, I'll step back a bit and zoom back. Right, so it goes normal, it's just like a canvas, isn't it, right? Let's go back in again, let's stare at it now. Can anybody, if you can see that, if that appears to your eyes, guys, can any of you in the art world, anybody, any experts, explain that, please? It only does it with this picture. Any other picture I've done, it's never done it before. Okay. I'll go back a bit. And let's see if it still does it. I mean, I thought it would only happen with my naked eye, but I'm seeing it on my little screen on my camera right now. And I always thought I was going a bit mad. But this is a Bruce Daniel Williams exclusive, folks. This is not just any old painting. You know, this is it's a finger painting. It's central. It's almost a perfect circle. I'll go around the edge to show you that. You know, it's kind of like, okay, you can see it is almost a perfect circle, isn't it? Right. Ultraviolet glow, it just hasn't stopped since I've been filming it for me personally, folks. I don't know. I'm wondering, is it just my eyes that see it? Like, I don't know. So anyway, I'm going to post this immediately because I can't wait to see if anybody can see it, right? But there is when I did stage 2, Owl stage 2, I did it digital art, and it's on one of my videos on YouTube in case if anyone's noticed it, like where the blood is starting to merge in the, you know, like the first thing I've drawn into the yolk is the blood. Which, you know, it's going to be quite surreal when it's finished, but if you can understand what I'm trying to say, you're submerged in the egg, you're actually inside it with the yolk, you're not outside looking through a glass window or anything. I try to paint what's impossible, guys, you know, what's actually impossible. Well, I'm seeing that ultraviolet glow big time, right? A bit like a black light, you know those things they call black lights? It looks like that, like. I don't know. Right? Which brings me, right, I'm going to finish now, I'm going to zoom back, and I'll go to that, which is the same thing. Okay? The same concept. This isn't a cup, it's lapis lazuli that's shape-shifting, it can change shape. And it's suspended in gold. I'll kind of get it at an angle, you can see the gleam on it and the shine. And right, it's just got gold acrylic, it's gold acrylic, right? But it's meant to be a cup suspended in gold, and in the same way that is suspended in an egg, it's impossible. You're inside it, the light source is impossible, it's making a reflection. Right, and this is like a kind of another stage, completely another level of me work where I'm trying to be a pioneer. Right, but won't go any further on that because I can't wait to put this on YouTube and find out if I can see that glow. Right, so you can see where I'm coming from. You're suspended in the egg with the yolk, which is going to be an owl. Right, it's like impossible. And then other things, that's what I try and do. I'm going to try and convey. I don't know what to carry on talking, to be honest. Like, well, yeah, let's carry on talking. The battery's alright. Okay, now there's already a video on YouTube of this picture being drawn stage by stage, right? Now, if you imagine this, it's lapis lazuli, the stone lapis lazuli or lapis lazuli, right? This is on paper, remember? This is just on paper in a pad. There's other pictures in there I want to show you, right? Now, stage 1 of the owl, stage 1 of this, right? But you're in gold this time, you're suspended, alright? And that gold could be in the earth. That could be still in the earth. It hasn't been mined. No one's seen it. No one can. It's not in a shop, in a window or anything. It's like, it's in the earth, right? And somehow miraculously inside the gold is a little piece of lapis lazuli, or a big piece. It could be gigantic. It could be tiny, right? But it can change shape. It can be anything. And just for fun, I wanted it to be a cup, right? So you see where I'm coming from now. That's why I bought a John Lennon and Yoko cup, and it's kind of like a big deal to me, because I mean, I was in an artist's exhibition, and you know, I don't want to go on about these things, but try and understand me in the world of art, folks, right? But anyway, you're suspended. This thing can change shape. This thing can change shape. And what it does, now what I've done is I've used acrylic paint and turned it into lapis lazuli, right? Now what do all the artists do in the past? They actually get a lapis lazuli stone, crunch it up to get the colour blue, and apply it to a painting, which could be like the blue gown on a Mary picture or whatever, right? But it was very important to them back in the day. It was like, you know, it was like more precious to them than precious metals and gold or whatever, just to get that colour blue, you know? But this colour blue was all like, this was out of a tube of acrylic, already made, which is like plastic acrylic, isn't it, right? And the actual colour's, what's it called? Ultramarine, an ultramarine tube of paint, right? And straight out the tube I thought, wow, that just looks like lapis lazuli. So I tried to make it look like it, right? And that's stage 1, right? Which takes me to stage 2, which is still unfinished, right, folks? I love this picture. I haven't finished it yet. I mean, that's how lazy I am, right? But you can see on this one, I've actually put glitter in it to get that, like... Actually, I can put the light on this, can't I? And there's a light on this. There we go. Well, right, now you can see as an artist what I've achieved. You're still suspended in them. This is canvas, by the way. This was a virgin canvas. This was a brand new canvas, right? I took it from that piece, from that book of paper to canvas. I should have done that on canvas as well, but I didn't think, did I? I was like, you know, duh, I didn't think, like, you know, I should exclusively kept it to canvas, right? But anyway, so I went to this one, which is bigger, right? There's my hand, and it's quite a big picture, you know. I'll stand next to it so you can, you know, right? So I'm going a little bit upscale there, right? You know, getting a bit bigger, right? Now, you think of what I've done. I want to get this and like, explain this. Look at those glittery bits, man. Like little stars. Right, but this is stage 2 of that. Right? Everything's in stages, right? And I think what I've done as an artist, if you look here, people will say that's Freemasonry, or that's for... try not to swear. That's, you know, Freemasonry, right? I'll just turn the light off. I hope this is not boring you guys. It's like a kind of art lesson stroke explanation of Bruce as a mad, nutty artist, right? Now, what I said earlier, artists would buy a lapis lazuli stone, which will be like gold to them. It come from Afghanistan, yeah? They'd crush it up, they'd make blue pigment and mix it with the oils or whatever to make blue paint, which was like precious to them, man, precious. As an artist, what I've done is reverse the process. I've turned acrylic paint, ultramarine blue, into stone. You see, that's a keystone. I've only done that outline to show you what it's going to look like. That's an exaggerated outline. This should be like finer and everything, but you know, wanted to get, so anyone who looks at it first glance, this is meant to be gigantic. You're meant to be a little tiny dot standing there looking at this big wall. And you walk around there, and then behind there, that'll just look like a door. You don't know all that's behind it. So you walk in and, you know, you've got this walk. At the centre of that, there's a piece of gold. It's actually a grain of... it's a grain of pure gold, see? That's a grain of pure gold. Because what I'm trying to do is turn acrylic gold paint into pure gold without putting any gold leaf on it. I was thinking of covering it all with gold leaf, but I thought, is it possible to alchemise the paint into gold? And likewise, I've got tiny bits of lapis which I'm going to stick on this picture, so that when people look at it, and if I ever put it like an exhibition, there's a real bit of lapis, there's a real bit of gold, and it should go boom, right? But I've turned this entire flat blue paint, you know, there's a couple of tubes of paint in there, like, and reverse the process. Those artists, all the millions of artists, and or, you know, or thousands of artists in the 1800s or whatever, Turner, I don't know, they would crush the lapis into powder to get this blue paint. And I've turned the blue paint, which is modern, which is plastic acrylic, into rock. I've reversed the process. You can see this is rock. This is a four-dimensional, like, structure suspended in gold, right? Suspended in gold. So you're in there, you're not like, you know, it's impossible. And there's meant to be little doorways and everything, little details. I've got to put the veins of calcite. You know what calcite is, the stuff, that the white bits in lapis, the veins of calcite. Now here's the crunch, like our pineal glands are made of calcite. And I hope this picture, when it's finished and signed and sealed, there's no signature on it, look. There's nothing, because it's not finished, and I can't remember the date that I started it, but it's a few years ago now, folks. It's taken me a long time. I've just been leaving it to, you know, kind of formulate. So I've reversed the process. I've actually converted the paint, blue paint, back to this big, huge chunk of lapis lazuli. And there's one big chunk of lapis lazuli, right? I know you think of the you know, the monolith in 2001, the Stanley Kubrick monolith. Well, that's my monolith on its side, and it's blue instead of black. But it's a great big chunk of lapis. And you'd be like a little tiny dot standing there looking at this going, what? So that must be huge, you know, like gigantic, gargantual, you know, like a huge structure. I'll go like, so you can see the texture in that one. You know. But you suspend, they've got this thing about suspending the viewer. You've got to see it in person to look at it. I've got this thing about suspending the viewer in something that's just impossible. This is just impossible. No one can make this structure for real. Right? But you all know that an owl, a male owl and a female owl, can make that, you know. Just by having sex. Just by, you know, without... It's the miracle of God, basically. Turn the lights off. See if it goes ultraviolet again. I don't know, I can see it myself, but you know. So anyway, there's a full chain reaction, right, folks? And this is a completely different sphere. This is like a tribute to Van Gogh. Or what I call, everyone argues with me, it's Van Gogh, and I say Van Gogh, it's Van Gogh, right? It's Van Gogh, you know, because of its like platonic, abstract innocence. There's nothing sexy about it whatsoever. But it's also Gustav Klimt, you know, the gold element. And yeah, you can put a female in there, like the vessel, the woman, you know, like, you know, but that's not my initial intention. It's basically gold and lapis. And that Van Gogh kind of like plastered it on kind of routine, you know. Right. So, I'd love your thoughts. Would you buy this picture if it was finished and signed and sealed? Can you see that ultraviolet glow? I mean, the next stage of this picture, I'm not kidding you guys, I never finished it in time, you see, right? But what I was meant to do, the next stage of this picture was, you know the Prince logo, you know the Prince sign, or like the, you know, Prince's sign. I was going to convert the lapis lazuli into the shape of the Prince sign, or basically it was meant to be that piece there, suspended on its own, would become the Prince sign suspended in gold, right? Pop art, do you understand? Pop art. And Prince passed on, and I thought, well, if I paint that now, people are going to think I'm just jumping on the bandwagon and paying tributes to Prince and that, like, and doing the sign. But honestly, my intention was there long before Prince passed on, you know what I mean? I was like, the next step to this, stage 3, is pop art. And it's Prince, but it's surreality meets pop art, right? The same piece of lapis changing shape, the cup, the maze, Prince's logo, and then whatever else I do after that, right? So, right, now, to finish off this little documentary, hold on, there's a work of art. There's a work of art. To finish off this documentary, right, there's other things I'd like to explain to you folks, but I just haven't got the time. So, I'll just show you a couple of pictures in this pad. There's the maze, that the stencil used for my maze. Right? A couple of little sketches. That's a dog I owned. That's the back of a car. That's a cloud. That's a maze kind of, you know, that's a horse. But anyway, there's only a couple of pictures in this pad, right, folks? Are you with me so far, right? Would you pay for these pictures? Idealistically, I'm a selfish bastard. I want to make every picture and then put them in an exhibition and then let people decide for themselves. I'm hoping that little egg yolk thing, people will stand there going, wow, it's going ultraviolet, but I won't know until I put this video on YouTube. If it really is like... But anyway, this is a picture, like a strange little sketch I did, of a Spartan, right? A Spartan, and you know the way warriors dance or Indians dance? It's not finished, it's meant to be, this is just the beginning of it, right? The Spartan is looking up at the moon, which is becoming some kind of like... I don't want to say anything about it. I don't want to give the game. You see, it's like a fish, like scales.